Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, December 19th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I activate the power of infinite possibilities within me. And holy wow, do we have an activating, shifty week ahead. We're getting a little bit yachty today. We have Jupiter returning to Aries on Tuesday, which I'm saying returning because we had Jupiter in Aries from May to the end of October. So we are familiar with this vibration, but once Aries moves in, it's making a beeline through the sign of Aries and hitting all the bumps along the way. So Jupiter in Aries, to be aware, can kick up our reactive energy. I do believe that Jupiter in Aries is meant to help us further engage our I am energy, our truest selves. And I think a lot of times that's where some of that reactive energy comes from, is either a need to prove ourselves or not feeling seen or understood as ourselves, or that we've repressed it so much. There's this part of us that's just ready to duke it out, fight. And I'm going to dig into that a little bit more, obviously, but just be aware, here comes the incoming, and yet we have one more day of the bonkers degree. That's Pisces 29's final name is the bonkers degree, just because it can connect to anything from any time. And I think we will be feeling that today, and we will dig into that. But a few more things of note. Sun moving into Capricorn on Wednesday afternoon. We are wrapping up Sagittarius and moving into Capricorn. And one of the things I really want to look at is this season. There can be so much stuff around belief and dogma that comes up around holiday season. And I think people have posted there's 20 holidays between the middle of November and the beginning of January, all kinds of different cultural holidays, cultural, religious holidays. And while we can be strong in our beliefs, I believe our beliefs are our own to cultivate and not for us to force on anybody else. And I think this is a Sagittarius lesson, because Sagittarius can get really strong in their belief, in wanting to know the truth, in their personal dogma. And then we move into Capricorn energy, which is now let me control the narrative. And so if we can hold that space of everybody has their own way of celebration, everybody has their own way of connecting to the divine, to the universe, and that's okay. I think that can help us release any of those controlling habits that can become ugly when we get reactive. So keep that in mind for this week ahead. Chiron is going direct on Friday, so I didn't actually look when Chiron went retrograde. I think it was August. I have my cheat sheet right next to me, but oh wait, I bet I wrote it down. Oh, July. So Chiron has been retrograde in the sign of Aries since July. And this is more of this Aries energy moving us forward with Jupiter and Chiron in Aries, and now Chiron moving forward in Aries. We are moving forward prepared to be who we are. And again, I think a key of allowing ourselves to be who we are can help us allow others to be who they are. And I think that's when the world really starts flowing, when everybody is free to be themselves. We also have a new moon on the 23rd, a new moon in Capricorn early in the morning. Capricorn new moons always feel very fruitful, feel very manifesty. So this is a really great time to let the universe play Santa and tell the universe what you want. And it doesn't mean that you're going to get it on Christmas Day, but your desires are potent in the universe, and allowing yourself to work with the universe is also potent. And in the midst of this, I missed the solstice. There's a certain magic to summer-winter solstice, depending what hemisphere you are in, on the 21st, when the sun moves into Capricorn. So solstice energy feeding into this new moon magic. And for all of this, do keep in mind and remember that we are in Mercury retro shade, the pre-shadow to Mercury retrograde. Mercury will be going retrograde the 29th, so incoming. So let's look at today's astro. I spoke a little bit about it in the write-up for yesterday. We have a yod. We're getting yachty with it. But today, we're adding to this yod energy a little bit. There's a bug who wants to become part of this, this scope. If you see this little thing orbiting around me. Anyway, we're getting yachty with it. We have Venus and Mars today in conjunct. Not seeing eye to eye. And the top of the cards that I pulled today is the projections card. So in relationship, Venus, which represents like the yin, the strength of the yin, Mars representing that yang energy, we may not be seeing eye to eye. And this energy is hovering right on that master 11 degrees and that 12 degree energy of expansion. So there's definitely some mastery process in this for us. Venus in Capricorn. It's interesting because Venus in the yin energy is a little bit more go with the flow. And yet the Capricorn energy makes us feel a little stronger, a little bit more rooted, a little bit more like I decide and I'm deciding to care for me. And I think that's the place to hold. Even as Mars, which can usually stand a little stronger, in Gemini, in this retrograde, is feeling a little bit more wishy-washy. And that might be kind of the problem. I'm not really sure where we can stand strong in this energy. And then, feeding into this, and this may be a big piece of this, is the moon in Scorpio and the south node in Scorpio. Both the moon and the south node can bring up subconscious energy. And this is, I think, a thing to remember. I think I mess it up. I think a thing to remember in this projections energy is that none of us completely can always see ourselves accurately. None of us can ever completely see what's going on accurately. We all have subconscious, and we are all reacting from subconscious. And the South Node and the Moon in Scorpio is really reminding us of that. And I think that's a good thing to remember, that everyone can help bring forth some kind of mirror around who we are and our subconscious energy. And I think hold some awareness around that in today's energy. Now, this can bring up really old fears. This can bring up old survival traumas as well. Scorpio definitely keys us into survival stuff. And I will remind you that the North Node is also linked into this. Venus will be trining the North Node. And so leaning into your values will be part of the antidote to this energy to help support moving you through any of these projections. I also have the moment-to-moment card and the patience card. And so that's going to be required in this energy. That Mars energy can be really reactive. And even though Jupiter has not yet moved into Aries, Jupiter is feeling the Aries. Let's be fair. So reactions may be where you immediately want to go to protect yourself, right? To protect whatever's coming up. Venus is also connecting to Chiron today, as is Mars. So Venus is connecting to Chiron in a square, and Mars is sextiling Chiron, which means there's healing available if we are willing to see, if we're being willing to open, if we're willing to recognize the projection might be telling us something. This is the hard thing about projections, is that they're not necessarily always accurate. This might be the projection we're having for somebody else. It might be the projection coming at us, but there's something for us in that. And I think that's part of the little challenge in this energy, the little push and pull going on is like, where can I get the accurate information? Tune in. Maybe this is a good day to pull cards to understand what's going on and to support, because this energy, like I said, can be so healing, and it's that master degree. So it's like, part of being the master is willing to see that unconscious, undercover, underground stuff. And again, Moon in Scorpio is also in conjunct Chiron today. So there's so much weaving going on in this energy. The moon in Scorpio is also connecting to Uranus, not till this evening, later in the evening, but just to round out the day, bringing forth any more little triggers that can help you get to the heart of the matter, to understand, like, what is the thorn, what is the challenge that's coming up in and through these energies. And I will once again remind you and remind myself, moment to moment, and patience to remember that in and through this. The other two cards for today, one is the Source card, and this feels like what I was speaking about, like the manifestation energy that's so powerful with Capricorn energy, but also the Source is reminding us on a deeper level how much creation is supporting us in the unfolding and in our personal power of healing. And so just keep that in mind as these situations unfold. Like, why is this being created for me? How is this being created for me? How can I support myself in this creation unfolding? The final card is always an interesting one. Abundance card in reverse. There's so many layers of this, but the one I'm going to is, as we are building into Hanukkah, Christmas, any other holidays, we can go very off balance this week, whether it's spending so much to prove our worth or prove to somebody that we love them, or going too far with the holiday cookies, or I can't handle this, I'm so stressed, I'm going to drink a whole bottle of wine. And none of this is judgment, but it's noticing for yourself where you're a little off balance. And if you're leaning too hard into some of the human energies, you might want to take a step back and reconnect to spirit. Take a little moment, breathe, remember spirit within you, helping you move through all of these shifty energies this week. Speaking of this week, I had somebody have to cancel on me this week for a year ahead reading, which opens up my schedule. So if you are wanting a reading this week, we could definitely do that. So check in with me for that, or book a year ahead reading. I also have holiday gift certificates available. It can be emailed to you or to the person that you're buying it for. Just reach out for any of that. Anything else? And check out this Friday, Nikki, Ryan, and I will once again be doing our next chakra. We're going to dig into solar plexus. So check us out on Friday with that. And check out the past two ones because they were great discussions. So that's it for today. The better it gets, the better it gets. My little orbiting friend. The better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. Keep that in mind when it comes to abundance. You have the power, and above all right now, honor your values. Namaste.